think about it and get back to you. How frustrating is it when you've done what you felt was the perfect discovery call and then you hear those words? It's very frustrating. But here's a surprising statistic. The average interior designer only converts around 30% of their discovery calls into paying clients. So all of that time finding leads to only convert 30% of them, you're literally leaving money on the table if you're in the same situation. Think what you could do if you could turn 70 to 80% of your calls into paying customers instead. That could be pretty business changing, right? Discovery calls are your opportunity to convert interested prospects into paying clients. But if despite your best efforts to showcase your expertise and passion and something's not clicking, then stick around. In this video, I'm breaking down the real reason your discovery calls aren't converting. I'll show you exactly what's missing and how to fix it with one simple adjustment to your approach. I'm also going to give you some questions to ask and a script to follow. I'm Kate Hatherall, and here at the Interior Designers Hub, we teach people how to set up, grow and run successful interior design businesses. Now, most people believe that discovery calls are all about impressing your client with your portfolio and your expertise. But the truth of the matter is that clients aren't actually looking for a design lecture. What they're looking for is someone who understands them and their specific challenges. So if you're finding that you're spending most of your discovery calls talking about your processes, talking about your experiences or your unique approach, you might actually be unintentionally pushing clients away. I once worked with a designer, let's call her Sarah, who was only booking 1 in 8 discovery calls. That's 12.5%. And the most frustrating thing about it was that she was a great designer with an amazing portfolio and she knew her stuff inside out. But when we looked at her process for handling discovery calls, I noticed that she was spending about 80% of the time talking about herself and her processes, and only about 20% of the time learning about the client's specific needs. The harsh truth of it is that clients don't actually care about your process, at least not yet, not at this part of the process. What they actually care about is whether or not you understand their problem and whether they can relate to you on a personal level. It literally doesn't matter if you have the best processes in place, the best offers lined up, the most amazing suppliers, and you can do the best job for them. At the end of the day, if you don't connect with them in the right way, they're not going to want to work with you and your discovery calls will fall flat. So here's the one simple tweak that will transform your discovery calls. Flip your talk to listen ratio. So instead of spending 70% of the call talking about yourself and 30% of the call listening to the client, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to spend around 30% of the time talking about your expertise and around 70% of the time asking strategic questions and listening to the client. But there's also more to it as well. It's not just about listening more, it's also about asking the right questions that really uncover the client's true motivations and discovers their pain points as well. So I've got a 3-part plan for you to help you to handle the discovery call. So number 1, you need to shift from telling to asking. So instead of saying, I've been designing spaces for 10 years and I specialise in modern, minimalist aesthetics or whatever, try asking them, what's been your biggest challenge with your current space? What is it that's bothering you about it? You see, most designers don't realise this, but clients are far more interested in talking about their problems than hearing about your qualifications. And when you start to ask these sorts of questions, it throws the spotlight onto them and puts them bang in the centre of your discussion, which really is where they should be. So number 2, in your conversations, make sure that you're going beyond the surface level. So ask questions that elicit deeper responses. To give you an example, a surface question would be something like, so what's your budget for the project, right? Something that we're all really tempted to ask. But a deeper question might be, well, how do you want this space to feel differently from how it feels now? Do you see how the first question is transactional, whereas the second question is transformational? It gets to the emotional core of why they're hiring you. And if you remember just one thing from this video, make it this: clients buy transformation, not services. Okay, and number 3 is to listen for emotional triggers. Emotional triggers are when a client says things like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed to have people over," or "I just don't feel relaxed in my own home," or "Oh, my partner and I just can't agree about the style." These sorts of sentences are gold mines for understanding what's really driving their decision. And if they're saying things like that, it's also an indication to you that you're doing something right. They're beginning to open up and trust you. And then you can take it one step further. So you're going to reflect back to them those emotional triggers, and that's going to make them feel deeply understood. And when they feel understood, they're much more likely to book with you. So let me give you a real example of a client who kept talking about how she wanted her home to be magazine worthy. If I had taken that at face value, I might have focused just on trendy design elements. But when I asked, what would having a magazine worthy home mean to you? She revealed that she was actually seeking validation from her critical mother-in-law, who always made comments about her home. So do you see how having that insight can completely change how you would approach the project? When you show empathy and understanding like that, it means that you get a deeper connection and a deeper understanding of what the project entails. And essentially, that's a greater outcome for the client. And when you can make connections like that, people book with you on the spot. All right. So how can you implement the 30-70 rule in your very next discovery call? First of all, you're going to create a discovery call script that's heavy on questions rather than statements. So I've got 5 powerful questions that you can use. Number 1, what's not working in your current space? Number 2, well, how do you want to feel in this room when the project is complete? Number 3, what have you tried before that didn't work? Or how else have you tried to solve this problem? Number 4, what would make this project a complete success in your eyes? And number 5 is always a good question. What's the cost of not making these changes? So people sometimes feel a bit awkward having a script, but if you can use questions like these as a prompt, not only are they super powerful, but asking them soon becomes second nature and you won't have to keep reading them out. They will actually just feel natural to you. So the second thing is to practice active listening skills, and you can do that by summarising what you've heard. So just say back to them, so what I'm hearing is you like da-da-da-da, whatever they've said. Then ask some follow-up questions. Can you tell me a bit more about that? And then finally reflect on emotions. Oh, it sounds like you're really frustrated with whatever. And thirdly, create a mental 30-70 timer. Now, of course, you're not going to be sitting there with a stopwatch in hand, but you're just going to be keeping an eye on how much you're talking versus how much you're listening, and that can be really insightful. For a 30-minute call, you should be speaking for roughly 9 minutes in total. That's actually going to feel quite uncomfortable at first, but trust me, it works. Number 4, you're going to reserve your expertise for the right moment. It's only once you've fully understood their needs, it's then and only then that you can explain how your specific process addresses their specific challenges. So I've got a little challenge for you. I'd like you to try recording your next discovery call with the person's permission, of course, and then I want you to work out afterwards how much you speak versus how much the client speaks. And if you're speaking more than 30% of the time, you've identified your problem. But here's the good news, as you've seen in this video, it's an easy fix. So even if you tweak just one thing, start with asking more questions and speaking less. And after you've tried that out, I would love to hear from you. What's one question you're going to add to your discovery calls after watching this video? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Designers Hub for more practical tips on growing your design business. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our weekly videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.